Okay, so once again, you are mostly welcome. My name is Mtanda Samil. Okay, now having finished the Aitel revision of physics paper of Aitel, we are now in for mathematics. And of course, guess what? It is for 2025. Of course, this very yeah. Okay, so if you didn't have a glance on this, please better keep on this video such that you don't really miss out the message sent out to the students and teachers as well as far as 2025 is concerned. Okay, please, it's one of a kind, a special one, and a very good item. Remember, item 1 always comes from section A, which is a must-do number. Of course, you all know that section A is always compulsory. So be that watch it to the end, and maybe there will be something to learn, something new actually to learn from this item here, or video to be specific. Okay, so without wasting time, let's get to the point. Okay, so we now remind you to subscribe to the channel, like, share, and also leave a comment. Please, a comment may not necessarily be so that wordy, but you can just maybe it can be one way to thank, to give appreciations, or you can just simply comment and maybe on what you think we can make better. Of course, we can't really tell what you guys see those ends. We may hope things are okay, yet they ain't okay somewhere. So you can at least address some of the things in the comment section. Please, we have our technical team which always responds to any comment on any video. So just notice a quick reaction as far as response is concerned. Anyway, we simply appreciate you for always keeping on to this channel and for your subscription, and for whoever has not subscribed, please kindly you subscribe to the channel, because the more you subscribe is the more this channel reaches to very many people out there. So maybe your subscription can make other 20 people discover this channel. So it's one way you can help one another. So without wasting time, let's get the real point. Okay, now here we are. Of course, it is for 2025, by the way, special one. Okay, good. Now let's get our laser pen as usual. All right, good. So we have the saying: your school has received a new set of mathematics box containing instruments to be used during learning, but it came with a password. Of 2-digit number in base 11. The password has a characteristic that the total of its digits is equal to 56, with the first digit being 4 greater than the second. The head of department needs assistance in knowing the password to improve on the performance of students in mathematics. Right? Okay. The HOD collected 10 million 100. In fact, this is not meant to be there. Okay. 10,185,000 shillings to go for the seminar to another school 300 kilometers away from the school. 80%. Alright, so we proceed now. The saying: the HOD collected 10,185,000 shillings to go for the seminar to another school 300 kilometers away from the school. 80% is to be spent on fuel, 7/20 of the remainder on servicing the bus, and the rest will be shared between the driver and the conductor in the ratio of 5:3 respectively for upkeep. But the driver is also not sure if the fuel will be enough for the whole journey, as he knows that using his usual constant speed of 65 kilometers per hour, 10 liters of fuel enable him to cover 36 kilometers. Okay, so let's proceed. Okay, now I think they're just getting us some of the pictures, and maybe the mathematics box looks like that, the way you need to enter the password, and the bus looks more like that anyway. But of course, some of these pictures here may not really provide the answers. This goes to that student who may think that overlooking into the picture, maybe there is some formula hidden there. Not really. They're just giving us support materials for you to really know what they are talking about here. Anyway, so they're saying, using your mathematics knowledge, use it to help the HOD to know the actual password of the mathematics box so that he can open it That's the first part. Remember number 1. Remember number 2, they say the guide the driver how much money he received for upkeep. Oh, anyway. So next, guide the driver if the liters of fuel he plans to buy will be enough. Anyway, now let's start with this. To be specific here, let's start with this. So he's saying, help the HOD to know the actual password of the mathematics box that can, so that he can open it. Now what you must know is that if they're talking about password, then we must go back in the question and look out for that area which is talking about the password and which digits have they given us to simply, all right, use. Okay, let's go there. So they're saying, in fact, let's go back here and make some analysis. So now they're saying that we start from here. Okay, they're saying your school received a new mathematical box, containing instruments to be used during learning, but it came with a password of a 2-digit number, meaning that the password has 2 digits. A password has 2 digits. By the way, if you can really look into this, a password has 2 digits here. If you can really look into this, I'll make some analysis here. So maybe this one here is our first digit, and this one here is our second digit. Okay, that will work for us since there are 2 digits. Okay, good. Now digit in base 11. Now what you should know is that these digits here are simply in base 11. You might have to move slowly with this. Okay, now please, as you're watching this video, you may pause the video and you get a pen. You also try it out first before you can really see the real answer. Anyway, okay, we move. So the password has a characteristic. Now remember the password is in base 11. We have clarified on that. So the password has a characteristic that the total of its digits is equal to 56. So the total of its digits is equal to 56. But you all know that whenever they write the total of its digits is equal to 56, whenever they write any number, say for example 56, without writing a digit on it or a base on it, you just all know that it is 56 and it is in base what? It is in base 10. If you can really be keen about this, any number without a base is always in decimal base, or which we simply call base 10. I want us to be clear on that. But again, the digits of the password are all in base 11. Oh, how are we going to get there? Now, but I've said, okay, but anyway, allow me, okay, erase off some of the things here. Okay, remove this. Okay, great. So I've clarified on that. Now, but they're saying, they're giving us more information. They're saying the first digit, the first digit being 4 greater than the second digit. The first digit being 4 greater than the second digit. Now, what does it mean here? Please, always in these logical problems here, allow me still again erase off some parts here. Do not erase off all things. Okay. Now, what you want to clear this area so that you can get to know about something here. Now, whenever they are given you this logical problem, greater than, twice, less than, those are all logical problems, of course. Now, what you're going to do here is, in the simple terms, which must come and look into this. They're saying the first digit being 4 greater than the second. Now here, they've talked about this first digit and now the second digit. Now in this context, what we do, we always let the last, because in here, in any logical problem, they always talk about 2 things at first. Now, if there are 2 things now, we must let this last one here to be any letter. We let this second digit to be any letter. Say for example, we can let that second digit to be x, if you can really look into that. And if the second digit is x, but remember they're saying that the first digit being 4 greater means you are going to add. So 4 greater means plus 4. So therefore, if this is x and the other one is 4 greater than it, it means that here the first digit will be x plus 4. If you can really look into that. But again, in the normal of writing, how shall we write these digits here? How are we going to write these digits here? We're going to write them like this. So I have this as x plus 4. That's the first digit. Like that. Then we have also x. But a simple reminder, all these digits you're seeing here, they are in base 11. I clarified on that. All the digits you're seeing here are in base 11. But remember this 56 given to us. This 56 is in base. Okay. This 56 here given to us is in base 10. So I think this base 10 is not correlating with base 11. Yet, it is the one which the sum, if they add this first digit and the second digit, they give us 56. but 56 is in base 10. Then it means that what you're going to do, it means that what you're having x plus 4 as a first digit and x as a second digit, which is in base 11, we shall need to convert it to base 10 first of all. So let's go and have that done in simple terms. And to convert this into base 10, what are we going to do? We simply come and give the powers. We simply come and give the powers. We simply come and give the powers in simple terms. Alright, so it means that if this one is in base 11, we must first of all convert it to base 10. And how shall we get that done? How shall we get that done? Remember, they're all in base 11. So it means that we shall have the x plus 4 being the first digit, and the second digit is x. So we go ahead giving the powers. So this one will be power x, power 0, and this one will be power 1. But remember, they're all in the base what? They're all in the base 11. Then they are saying that now this that when you get, in fact, they're like the characteristics of these ones is that their sum gives you a certain number, which is 56 in simple terms. Then what are you going to do? Of course, you all know to convert from one base to another to be x plus 4, which is like that, times 11 power 1 plus, of course, normal way, to be now x times the 11 power 0. Then this whole stuff will be equal to 56. Now that will give us the values of x, and then we shall go by comparing. I hope that really makes some sense. Let's now get to the real work. Okay, so without wasting time, let's go there. Okay, so we simply begin by saying that the total of its digits is equal to 56, with the first digit being the 4 greater than the second. So we are just trying to make some analysis here. Then next we go by letting. So we say let the second digit be x. Of course, with this we shall get the table drawn so that we can get everything in there. Alright, so alright, good. So without wasting time, I think let's get there. So realize that in the very first place, we have that is our first digit, and this is our second digit, and that's now the sum. Now what we must know is that, in fact, let's get some of the digits here after letting. That is x, the first digit, and the other is x plus 4, and then here we have 56. Now I want us to learn something here. Okay, so I want us to learn something here, please. Like, look, all these digits you're seeing here are in base 11. Allow me just write 11 here, base 11. But this 56 you're seeing, it has no base, so therefore it is automatically in base 10. So you find that these guys here can't correlate, and there is no way you can add these two. There is no way you can add digits in. Remember, this one is the first digit from here plus second digit. There is no way you can add digits in the base 11 and give you an answer in the base 10. So what does it mean? We need to convert these digits in base 10 first of all. Equate. We find the values of the unknowns. Now the values of the unknowns, when we substitute them here, we shall now see that exact number actually. So we need to first of all get this into base 10. Why? It's because, please, we have what we call base 10. We have base 10, and we have what we call other bases. Now I know some people think that we have base 2, base 3, allow me to use digits here, right? Base 4, base 5, base 6, base 7, base 8, base 9. Now base 10 is this side, a special one. Now we have there base 11, base 12, base 13 onwards. Now in fact, all bases in the world, if you remove 10, apart from base 10, the rest we call them other bases. Now even base 11 is other base. Now just like you have, say for example, we can have 1 0 1 1 base 2, and this may be required to be converted to base 10. I hope you can really see it here. Now same way we can have a number like 9 8 base what? Base 11. Now we can convert base 11 to base 10. I don't know if you can understand that. Base 10 is a natural base, in fact. You find that in real life, whatever you're doing, the money you use, the numbering on the buttons, the numbers on the buttons of your phone, if they're buttons anyway, or even your age is in base 10, your weight is in base 10, whatever you eat can be mangoes or what is in base 10. So base 10 is a natural base. Therefore, does it mean apart from base 10, the other bases you know of, we call them other bases. So it means that you can convert from other bases to base 10. The approach is always simple. The approach is always simple, please. Let me make some clarification here. Like, say for example, if you have 1, 0, 1, in fact, let this clarification be somewhere up this side such that you can all follow up. You can have 1, 0, 1, base 2, which is also in other bases, and maybe want to convert it to base 10. What we do here is, please, we simply begin by giving powers. Say 0, 1, 2. When giving powers, we begin from the right to the left, like this. So after doing that, now what you do, you get this number, for example, that is 1 times the base which you have, which is 2, like that. Then put the power, which is power 2, like that. Close brackets plus. Now we are going to 0. So to be 0 times the base originally there, which is 2, power what? Power 1, because I have a 1 right here. Then I want us to know how to convert from other bases to base 10. We simply multiply. So we finally have a 1 times 2, power what? Power 0. If you can really see that. Now, if you multiply here 1 times 2 power 2, that will give you a 4, plus a 0 times any number, of course, it will be a 0, plus now a 1 times any number to power 0 is a 1. So simply here, this will be 1 times 1. So plus a what? A 1. And this one will give us an answer as 5 base 10. I hope you can now see that. Now, it's what we're going to do here. Remember, these digits here are all in the base 11, but this one is in the base 10. So we need to first of all get them into a common base before you can get the value of the unknowns. I told you it's a bit sensitive. This number is a bit sensitive, by the way, and you need to give it enough time. So, shall now send the next part that when you have that. So, okay, this is the first digit. Now, the way we're writing this is more like we're writing 9 and 8 when this one is in the brackets. But this one here is the first, and this one here is the second. Of course, in the bases, we count first from the right to the left. I hope you can really, okay, reason out on or write that. Now what we're going to do simply here is, since they're in base 10, our aim is, they're in base 11. Okay, let me get this. They're in base 11, but remember this 56 is in base 10. You may not necessarily write it there. So you must convert the base 11 to base 10. How? We're going to use the very approach you have used right there. And now this one is going to be, okay. Alright. Rest of this. Okay, good. Now we can move on. So in the next step, we are going to begin by giving them powers, and that will be, when you go ahead by giving them powers, this will give us, when you give them powers, we shall now have that. Okay, hope you can easily follow up here. Now I have power 0 here for this, power 0 for this, you have power 1, like that. Our aim is to convert to base 10. So we shall now, remember in base 10 you get this times 11, then you put the power, plus this x times again 11, then you put the power. The power is put on the 11 itself. Just like here it was in the base 1, we're putting the power on 2, power on 2, power on 2, like that there. So let's still get the point, right? So that will now give us, you have to multiply to be x times 11 power 1 plus x times x plus 4 times 11 power 1 plus x times 11 power 0. Right, good. And that will give us simply, okay, if you can really see this, if you multiply, remember 11 power 1 will just give us 11. Now you have to multiply this by that. Now x times, now any number to power 0 gives you a 1, like we're having it right there. So we are simply going to expand right here, and we get the values of x here. Now once you do that, you realize that, of course, when you multiply 11, x times 11, you get 11x, like we have it right there. Multiply 4 times 11, you will get 44 right there. Multiply 1 times x, you will get x right there. Our aim is to get the value of x, the unknown. Okay, now with this, let's have that. Now when you add, you realize that 11x plus x will give you 12x, but of course plus our 44 will give us 56. Please, we have done this, and remember that at this level, everything is now in the base 10. 56 is in the base 10, and even this one is in the base 10 right there. Okay, now let's continue. We want the value of x. So the additive inverse will give us, of course this will cancel away. It was a positive, crossing the equal sign, it becomes a a negative, and then we shall have finally a total of x is equal to 12. Oh, lucky we are. So therefore this one will be divide both sides by 12. Yeah, the 12 will automatically cancel out, and 12 divided by 12 will automatically remain with your x being equal to 1. As simple as that. So let's get there. So x is equal to 1. Now that implies that if x is equal to 1, means that the second digit is 1. If you can really see that. And even this one here is in the base. Okay, remember this one here is in the base 11. If you can really see that it is in the base 11, don't forget that it is in the base 11. Therefore, what will be the first digit will be, second digit will be equal to 1, like we have explained here. X is second digit. Now the first digit will be what? Will be 1 plus 4, which will give us a what? A 5, I think. So second digit is equal to a 5. How do you get a 5? A 5 is 1 plus 4. Where did that 5 come from? This area here, x plus 4, but x is 1. So let's get the password. The password now is the actual password of the box is 5, 1. Now please, it now gives us that kind of proof. It is now 5, 1. But this 5 and 1, they are in base 11. Remember, if they are in the base 11, what should you expect here? What should you expect here? Now, if you have 5 and 1, and they are all in the base 11, okay. Of course, we can get these answers here. We want to see, can the 5, 1 base 11 give us a number in the base, in the 56? So, when you convert 5, 1 base 11 to base 10, the answer you get is 56, which was originally given to us here. I think let's take a simple proof in this. So we shall now say that, okay, remember I have 5, 1. Now remember this one is in the base what? Okay, in the base 11, as earlier on communicated. So we have here 0 and have here 1. Now we are seeing this is more like what we have here. I think here that, and the x is our 1. If you can really see that. Then you have power 1, but this is 1 plus 1, which will give us a 5. So we want to convert this to base 10, and we see if it will give us 56. A quick math here. So I told that you say a 5 times the base you have here, which is 11, but of course power 1, plus a 1 times again 11, but power what? 0. If you can really see that. Now 5 times 11 power 1 will give you a 55, plus now 11 power 0 gives us a 1. So 1 times 1 gives us a 1. And if you add 55 plus 1, you will automatically get our 56, which is in the base 10. And that really confirms that our answer is super and super correct. With that, let's again move on to another part. Let's go there. Alright, so here we are. Now here they're saying simply. Okay, Roman number 2. Guide the driver on how much money he received for upkeep. Now, the upkeep the driver received comes after a number of things, by the way. Now here they said, the HOD collected 10,185,000. So, now what does this mean? 10 million means that the money collected was 10 million, alright, 185,000. That's the money they collected. If you can really see, 5,000 shillings to go for a seminar to another school 300 kilometers away, which is okay from the school. Okay, 80% is to be spent on fuel. Now we must go by breaking down. They're saying that 80% should be spent on fuel. What does it mean? In fact, then next 7/20 of the remainder, 7/20 of the remainder on servicing the bus. I really think that. Now, the word, whenever you see the word remainder, it means that you subtract. So, this one is a step-by-step calculation. First, you deduct money for fuel. Second, of the remainder, you pick the money for servicing the bus. Then the rest will be shared between the driver and the conductor in the ratio of this. Now, it means that before we reach the driver and the conductor sharing, it will be part of the remainder of the 10,185,000. So, we must go in steps. We remove the 80%, then we get the remainder and remove 7/20 for servicing the bus. Then the rest will be used for the drivers. So, I think let's first of all go and get there. So, we are going to make this analysis here of 80% is to be spent on fuel. Let's, I think, go right there. We get that done. We do it in steps. Okay, so we shall now say The HOD collected, of course, in digits. All right, so okay, good. So now, having completed our part A, let's now go to part B. What are they saying in part B? What are they saying in part B? Get some pen here. So in part B, they're saying, guide the driver on how much money he received for upkeep in simple terms. So the money received for upkeep, we shall now go back in the question and make some analysis again. So that is that, okay, these people collected 10,185,000, like that, which is equivalent to a 10,185,000. That's the much these people collected. Okay, now we're going to partition this money here into what? They're saying shillings to the seminar, to go for the seminar to another school 300 kilometers away from the school. Okay, 80% is spent on fuel. So therefore it means that part of this money, we must pick part of it fuel, and we take 80% of that much there, if you can really see. Then of the remainder, now after here, the remainder of this, which has remained after multiplying, the remainder, if you're really keen about that, remainder, okay, part of the remainder, we must multiply it by 7 over 10. 7 over 10, like the saying, actually 7 over 20, if you can really see here. 7 over 10 of the remainder on the servicing the bus. So this 7 over 10 is for servicing the bus. Then next, okay, and the rest will be shared between the driver and the conductor. So therefore, the rest after that, the rest or the remaining money, the rest will be shared between the driver and a conductor. Driver and a conductor in the ratio of, all right, a 5 to 3. So it means that you must begin by calculating 80% of that money, then get the remainder. They get that balance there we are having multiplied by 7 over 20. Again, get the remainder. That remainder is what you shall share with the, or shall share between the driver and the conductor. So let's get there, I think, without wasting time. Right, so we are now going to have, let's proceed. So realize that as far as our Roman number 2 is concerned, let's start off. Okay, so now we shall say that the HOD collected 10,185,000 shillings to go for the seminar. Now you must be knowing how to write some of these digits here in the sum of these. It has been given to us in words, but we need to know how we can do it in digits. All right, now you realize that if this was this, now in the first point we say the money spent on fuel is the 80%. So 80 times the 10 million, this is the much we have. Then with that, we need to get the remaining money. We need to get the remaining money. The remaining money is, you get this total here minus what, because 7 over 10 was for the servicing the bus, the remaining. So after applying 8 over 100 times the 10,185,000, we shall get 8,148,000. Now after getting this, now we need to know the balance. The balance will be, you get the 10 million original minus what you have used for fuel, shall remain with 2,037,000. Now remember, this is the balance or the remainder. The remainder. Now we must get 7 over 20 times the remainder, which is this. Okay, and we shall get this amount, which is 712,950, and that will give us the money for, that will simply give us the money for servicing the bus. Okay, I guess we are on the same page. Then again, if this is what you have used on servicing the bus, we must get the remainder. Remember, part of the 2,037,000. Okay. All right. Remember that part of the million of 2,037,000. Allow me to resolve this. Okay. Part of the 2,037,000, we have taken 712,950 for servicing the bus. Now we must get the remainder. The remaining amount or the rest of the money will be the 2,037,000 minus the 712,950. The balance shall get to be 1,324,000. thousands 50, like that. Now this money here is what we must give to the driver and the conductor, but we said that driver to conductor ratio is 5 to 3. Total ratio will now give us 5 plus 8, which will give us 8. Now we need to know how much did the driver get for the upkeep. It will be now that 5 over total ratio, which is this. Now a ratio of this kind means that, please, a ratio of this kind means that, allow me, driver has 5 and conductor has 3. Of course the driver has to get a big share. Now you can get a 5 for driver over 8 times the balance after fuel and servicing the bus. The remaining amount was for the driver and the conductor. So 5 over 8 times 1,324,070. Shall now get, please, here it is giving us a decimal. I don't know if there is, you try to press that and catch it and you see. So now to give us 827,531.25 shillings. Anyway, I wrote even the decimals there, but okay. Now conductor's upkeep will be 3 because conductor share is 3 over 8, which is total ratio, times the original amount. Of course they are sharing this, so 1,324,050, and now that one will automatically, of course I'm told the network is disturbing me, but of course no worries. So that will automatically give us a 496,518.25 shillings. Of course it should be that when you add this plus this, you can easily get this back. Now we have known what the conductor and driver simply got in terms of, okay, sharing. Let's gonna have that in the conclusion simply, okay. But now we're going to conclude and say that the driver received this much. This is the much the driver received, okay. And now as you're going to be bringing that conclusion there, let's go back in our question and see what they want in Roman number 3. Let's go there in Roman number 3. What do they want? So in Roman number 3 they're saying, okay, get the driver if the liters of fuel he plans to buy will be enough. Now will the liters of fuel he plans to buy be enough? Now here it means that you must go by the driver's plan, how much the driver had estimated as the amount for fuel versus what the school had reserved for fuel. Remember, the school had reserved this for fuel. Let's go there. So remember, the school had reserved this for fuel, 80%. So the school had reserved 8,148,000 for fuel. Anyway, that's even too much for fuel. I think that. So we must then see that's what the school has, but the driver also has another plan. Let's get the question. Okay, now let's get here. All right. Okay, allow me erase this. Now here it all starts from here. It all starts from here. So they say, but the driver is not sure if the fuel will be enough for the whole journey. Now, of course, the money for fuel was some amount in 80 million there, using his usual constant speed of 64 kilometers per hour. Using his constant speed of 64 kilometers per hour, yes, 10 liters of fuel enable him to cover 36 kilometers. Now, this speed is what the driver uses. And when using that speed on this journey, 10 liters of fuel can cover up 36 kilometers. I hope you can all see that. Now, what you must know here is that you must now come and say, okay, if 36 kilometers take 10 liters, if you can really see that, what about now? Okay, what about now? Now, this 36 kilometers taking 10 liters. That's according to the driver's plan. Now let's come and equate which distance are we having in total. You see that the school where they're going is 300 kilometers. Total distance 300 kilometers. So if 36 has 10, what about the 300 kilometers? We'll have how many in terms of, okay, liters. Then after finding the number there, we shall now see how much does the liter cost. We multiply and see, does that cost match the cost the school had planned earlier on? Let's go, I think, there and we see how this is done. Please, I again apologize, the JoyoShare software this time does again. Please keep asking me of what we use in making some of these videos here. Please, we use JoyoShare software and it's JOYO, then the word share. But of course, just know there is some subscription you need to pay, and in pounds. Okay, I hope that has really okay answered someone's question, a burning question moreover. Okay, now from there, let's go and see Roman number 3. We see how we can get that done. Okay, now Roman number 3. Remember, in Roman number 2, I have to conclude by saying that the driver received an upkeep of 827,531.25 shillings. I don't know, please, this 2.25 may arise because of maybe pressing the calculator. You try pressing and see if that is the answer anywhere. Yeah. Alright, so now let's go to Roman number 3. A quick analysis, we say. It takes 10 liters to cover a distance of 36 kilometers. It takes 10 liters to cover a distance of 36 kilometers. Yeah, of course we know that. So now 36 kilometers, 10 liters. Now our question is going to come in. Okay, the question will be this. How many liters will be required to cover a distance of 300 kilometers? You all know that the other school is 300 kilometers away from the school where they're going has a distance of 300 kilometers between them. Now we realize that there we need to convert. Like if 10 have 36, cover 36. What about 300 kilometers? We'll cover how many liters? Remember, they've even given us the cost for fuel. So let's get this done quickly. Alright, good. Now, having done that, we all know that shall have a distance right there. I prefer using table formula, and then I shall have fuel right there. So the 36 kilometer distance can be covered using 10 liters of fuel. What about the 300 kilometers? Will be covered by putting n letter there of your choice, unknown letter, which will be maybe you're using y. So now again, we shall treat these as fractions, like say for example, over 36 over 300 equals to 10 over y. Then we will multiply. So that will be 36 over 300, then 10 over y. We want to get the value of y. Now the value of y here will give us the amount of fuel in liters, which the whole distance will require. And of course there we shall have to say 36 equals multiply. Realize that 36 times y shall get 36y, then 300 times 10 shall get 3000. And of course with that shall have to continue and divide both sides by 36. So there we shall have dividing both sides by 36, this cancels away. Now 300 divided by 36, which answer are you going to have? Now what you get here is a recurring decimal, but I tried to avoid that, so it will be 250 over 3 liters. But when divided this, we have it in decimal format. It is a recurring decimal. That's why I had it in fraction format, because the recurring decimal was going to kill the accuracy of our answer. But again, if these are the liters required to cover the whole distance, then we must know. Of course, remember, a simple reminder, please. Remember that for the whole journey, the budget is for 8,148,000. Now you want to see, according to the driver's plan, in the whole journey, how much will be required. Now we have known that from the driver's plan, a 36 kilometer journey can be covered using 10 liters of fuel. Now we have seen 300 will use 250 liters divided by 3. Now what does it mean? It means that you must get these liters here times the cost per liter. Then we really know if these are the liters they need in the whole journey. Multiply times the cost for each liter. We get the amount and compare with what we have already. But again, just to remind you, in the question I had this. Okay. Okay, so I think let's get there. Right. All right, good. So what we must know is that here, please, here there it was said that, okay, we had a hint somewhere. I want to comment on this. We had a hint in this question right here. A hint was that, as far as this question is concerned, the hint was, okay, that 1 liter of fuel, let me get it for you here, 1 liter of fuel costs, we had it already there, but I think it has disappeared because of the network error in the software. But of course the problem, we shall get it here, costs 4,800. So this is what 1 liter costs. Please, this was original in the question and I put it for you there. Hint is 1 liter of fuel costs, okay, 4,800, and it's just right after these pictures here. just right after these pictures. Hint was just right down there, but the software has made it disappear. However, no worries. Let's proceed. Let's proceed. Now 1 liter costs 4,800. Let's go there. We get that multiplied. Okay, now get it done. Told you this software is jamming a little bit, but still no worries. Please, no worries. Now of course we now want to have this multiplied. Like if you have this amount right there, if you have this amount which is 250 over 3 liters, now we must know how much it costs them all together. Of course, simply by multiplying by the amount or by what each liter costs, and then we shall have that and say total fuel cost is equal to the liters, the number of liters for the whole journey. These are number of liters for the whole journey times what each liter costs. And guess what? The amount you get here is 400,000. Now that 400,000, compare it with this what the driver's plan has 400,000 that will be enough for the whole journey. But then the question was asking, will it be enough anyway? The question was asking, to remind you a little bit here, the question is saying that guide the driver if the liters of fuel he plans to buy will be enough. Okay, the liters of fuel the driver plans to buy, as per our calculation, the driver was planning to buy these ones. As per our calculation, the driver was planning to buy this. They must get that and multiply it with the total cost for 1 liter, which is this time is that, and he's giving us 400,000. Now that's according to the driver's plan. But again, you must compare with what the school is. Remember, it is the school to pay this money. Will the school be able, let's guarantee the cost for fuel. Will the school be able? Oh, it's again massive. The school has amount in millions, yet the driver thought of something just in thousands. So it will be enough. Yeah, the driver's plan will indeed work a little bit, because what he budgeted for was by far less than what the school has. Okay, I think the school is also very rich here. So now we shall now conclude and say that yes, the amount will be enough, because the total fuel cost according to the driver's plan is shillings 400,000. Yeah, according to the driver's plan is shillings 400,000, which is less than the 8,148,000, and that gets this question covered. Please, I kindly appreciate you for keeping on to this video at the end, because just now the network wasn't okay and things were always on and off, but still you've gotten here, and as simple as that, there we go. If there is anything, please, you can simply comment. Right, and with that, allow me end here and wish you well. But maybe before you go, just look at what the other item would look like. The next item 2 is all about that. That's how our item 2 is going to look like. Just a quick glance on it. Be there to watch it and also enjoy it. It's all about linear programming, but technical one. You need to at least watch it. Anyway, I sign out.